Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining LaunchPad this evening. LaunchPad, as you know, is a 8-week program. It is geared towards level 1 associates to help them through their workbook portfolios. Each of the 8 weeks is run on consecutive Mondays, and each of those weeks corresponds to one of the 8 sections of the portfolio. So tonight, we are honored and excited to have Cameron Robinson to talk to us about tournament operations. Cameron is a PGA professional from the United Kingdom, and he has worked at, he's actually trying to relocate to the United States and in process of doing that, but has worked at several high-end facilities in the UK and played professionally on satellite tours there in the UK. So Cameron has a great perspective on running tournaments and playing in tournaments. It is very early. He is actually calling in from the UK, so it's very early in the morning, 3 in the morning, I think, for him. So I'm going to say, Cameron, thank you so much for getting up this early. Welcome. Good morning. And I'll let you take it from here.
Thanks very much, Tom, and thanks for having me, everybody. So it's a bit of an eye stinger here, but please bear with me. If I go too fast or too slow, let me know. So a bit about me. I've worked at a few private members clubs in London. I had a part-time role before that as a custom fitter and salesman in a high school job, and took that on full-time and started the PGA. I've tried to play in 7 to 10 PGA events now and keep up the tournament play, just to keep my game sharp and so I can help other people on their journey in golf. Spent a few periods when the lesson tee was closed due to the pandemic in golf course setup with the superintendent and tournament setup, which was a lot of fun. It was great to see their angle and how they work things out down there at the other end of the golf course, and have been fortunate enough to have recent experience with the SCPGA, volunteering at the Ho Classic with Tom and Max Despain and the rest of the team. And their organization and running up to and on the day of the event was world class, and it was great to be part of that. So we'll get on with it and go forward. So the key takeaways and the sort of key stages of tournament operations in the portfolio: plan and prepare, running the tournament, conditions of play and rules, and review and evaluate. So today I've got a presentation which will hopefully help participants put some content into their work experience portfolio. It's more from a service orientated background and playing background. If you have any questions or want to chip in at any time, any point, please let me know. And yeah, hopefully we can have some discussions and get some content for you in the work experience portfolio. So the objectives for today, just someone's trying to get in here, I'll just let them in, guys. Michael? All in? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, what's going on?
No, just a message say asked me to let you in the room, that's all. Okay, so all in. Lovely.
Yeah, no, yeah, Cameron, you know, I'll take care of all of the admits. Just go ahead and keep going.
Sure, absolutely. So yeah, sharing best practice for tournament operations. We can all have a discussion on how we think they should be run and elements that we should definitely include. Identifying tournament moments of truths from sort of relates to the customer relations module, but there are definitely moments of truths along the tournament journey for players, members and guests. Discuss activities for the work experience portfolio regarding the 4 stages, and hopefully get some content ideas to put into the portfolio too. And questions at any stage. We'll probably have a question stage at the end too. So pre-planning stage moments of truth. I feel like there are some bottom line service elements that we need to get right before we've even got the booking or the contract form in place, and that's excellent communication. So instant replies, emails when you've been approached by a charity, a member, it's really paramount to just make sure that we have excellent replies and get back to them straight away, and just let customers know exactly what they're looking for, exactly what they wish for. Yeah, so we work in an industry, a service orientated industry, so just making sure that we meet customer needs and we can add value to their perceived service. So getting to know the clientele can help us meet the needs as well. So if it's a ladies' invitation day, a member guest day, or a professional event that we may be holding, just getting the course set up correctly for that day. Okay, so I think the tournament journey it's a short journey, but I think the tournament from a player's perspective is a short journey, and players arrive at a venue, welcome desk and tournament information is provided. Key events happen, i.e. sort of the golf being played and banqueting, and then there's a departure and a wrap up. I feel like this is how players remember a day, and these sort of key events that happen during this time is something that they'd take away from the day, as well as the communication running up to the event. So I've got a message in there. So how smooth and enjoyable can we make this journey for customers, visitors, members, and guests?
Hey, Cameron.
Yep.
Hey, as a player, you've gone through this. Have you found events that you've been playing at that didn't do these things? And how was your perspective on that?
So the one thing I was about to mention, actually, we've got something in the contingency plans later, is I had an event one time where we were using, it was only because of the pandemic, but we were using electronic scorecards and electronic scoring system. And we got to the scorer's office and there were delays because it was only due to being in the countryside of the UK. There was no satellite that got down to the scorer's desk, and all of our scores just vanished instantly. And there wasn't a contingency plan in place there wasn't a contingency plan in place, so everybody's scores had gone. There was one scorecard filled out because we weren't allowed to swap scorecards, and then from there it just took a long time to get everybody's scores back into the system manually. So I think, those events you remember when there's a lot of waiting around. I feel like the journey from a player perspective is a really good one when you feel like you've sort of floated through the day and haven't lifted a finger. And definitely the feedback from members and guests at golf clubs, when they feel like they haven't really had to lift a finger and things have just rolled on quite nicely, is when they've had the best day, and that's when hopefully they rebook.
Well, I think in that example, you probably won the event, right?
definitely not that time, but it was yeah, it was a good day out. It worked perfectly. The thing is, it worked perfectly on the golf course. The scoring system was live, and that's when it's brilliant when you've got a live leaderboard, but then it just seemed to vanish. Okay, so I've left a few checklists in here from the SCPGA. Thanks to Max Despain for that one. And I've left Peter's in there from LACC because I think it's really thorough. You've got 90, 30 and week of and day of. We've got the staffing. So I was just going to mention, I think if we can get this planning stage right and the organization running up to the day is bang on, our golden nugget for making the execution of the golf day is smooth and enjoyable for everybody involved. So not just it's a two-way street, not just for the members, visitors and guests. It's smooth and enjoyable for staff too, if we get the planning stage right. Okay, so here's a checklist from the SCPGA. We've got admin checklist and operations checklist with signage, food and beverage, and awards. I'm just going to take you on to Peter's one from LACC. I'm sure they're looking forward to the US Open in a couple of months' time, a few months' time. So we've got the entry fee, the number of players, T prizes. We've got a small section on the right confirming budget. I've got a question just regarding budget, just to trigger some thinking around budget and planning for profit and loss. So who knows the product with the greatest markup percentage in a professional shop or any golf complex?
Michael, what's your what do you think?
I feel like I should know this, and I have no idea. I'm going to take a guess. I don't know, golf balls.
Okay, what do you think, Derek or Mario? I think they're going with you, Michael, on the golf ball one.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go. Oh, Derek, what do you think?
Maybe they're gonna mark up the T-shirts for the tournament.
T-shirts. Okay.
Right.
I'm gonna well, just to put Lance, do you have a thought on this, Lance?
Yes, how about towel, corporate bowl towel, custom made.
Okay, towels, T-shirts, golf balls. I would have said hats myself, but Cameron, what do you think?
No, there's some really good answers there, and I think, you know, logo items are something you can mark up a lot, but it's actually a lot more simple when it's this guy, the commodity, it's water. But the reason I put that in there is just because we all work at different types of facilities, and, you know, the importance of variances will depend on where you are, and water is a lot of the time a free item at country clubs, but, you know, it's a potential gain, especially on busy days if sold in volume. So it's just to trigger some thinking about what you're maybe putting into T prizes or what you're giving away at the event. So confirming the field for tournament day and forecasting budget. I've just put a few things in here to trigger some thinking. We've got handicap range. I think that's a big one for helping us design the tournament and especially setting up the golf course. We know what to expect when we've got a handicap range in there. Logo requirements for logo golf balls and merchandise. So that is one thing to get in there early, speaking to vendors and making sure that the logo is in the right place. The logo is what the customer needs, what the customer wishes for. This is, you know, something that a member might come to you with a charity event, which they hold quite close to their heart, which is important to get right. And you can link them into a few emails with supplies and just make sure, without revealing figures, obviously, just to make sure they know they're getting exactly what they want. And yeah, just the format really will help you design the day. So what you have out there on the golf course on the day, how hard it's going to be tricked up, how the difficulty of the golf course, and yeah, whether it's a mixed pairs event or shotgun start really does help you with your food and beverage department too. And these are the 3 to 2 weeks out checklists from LACC. I really like these, they're so thorough. You've got even grounds course setup and decor there. I'm about to talk about Golf Genius and other tournament software apps. And yeah, a key, an alpha sheet, which shows you sort of all names and make sure that everybody's handicap and names are on the sheet. And as Peter mentioned before as well, it's really important to know people on a first or second name basis. It really adds value and it makes you look like you run a really quality service. So I've got another question. Has technology ever let anyone down? I know we've already touched on this, so we'll just move on, but that was the example that I gave there regarding the software app. So contingency plans in place. There's nothing better than old school pen and paper, in my opinion, for a scorecard. Can we pre-run or demo the app and electronic scoreboard the day before, and especially when inputting the score? And if we can get really savvy with the tournament software, we can learn how to troubleshoot the app. We shouldn't really have too many problems. Another thing I've just mentioned there is registration and scoring desk location. Does it work logistically relative to the first tee and 18th green? So the positioning of the scorer's desk is important as well for making things run smoothly. If it's a fun day or an invitation and people just want to get in and get to the banquet inn and have a drink, it's always nice to make that a nice smooth process.
Hey, just a question for the folks out there. Does everybody use Golf Genius, or do you use any other tournament software?
We primarily use Golf Genius at our course, and we use it a lot.
Yeah, I think that's probably, if not becoming the leader, I think it already is the leader, but, so if you're not on Golf Genius, you're probably going there soon. But yeah, thanks, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, it's very good. It has plenty of parameters on there, lots to get used to. And, just if you're not already on Golf Genius or your software app, just asking your director of golf to even navigate around the system is really going to help you when running an event on the day, for sure. This is just some ideas, some content ideas for the portfolio itself. Oh, there we go. So we can document tournament checklists, marketing and promotion tools. So I use a software, sort of marketing software called Canva online. It's very easy to use. I'm sure you guys know about that one too. Just for marketing golf lessons and golf coaching, really, but you can do it for tournament operations too. Obviously, making the tournament software setup smart. It will have to be meeting those requirements if it's a live event that's going to happen. And then you can put in some evidence of communication between the clientele and staff and different departments, and relative sort of health and safety forms and golf cart waiver forms. And tournament budget is something you can start to look at too.
And one other thing, Cameron, for the folks that are on, I mean, the workbook, you brought up a great point about making, the objectives smart, so specific, measurable, I forget what the rest of them, realistic time frame, achievable. But, that is something that the folks that are reviewing your portfolio will look at. So make those objectives smart, make, the results smart, be specific. That's would be, one of the things that I would say, for going forward.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it. And sort of navigating around the software system and just making sure that they are specific, measurable and realistic, and they have a time frame too. Running the event, the tournament program and part staging, the registration and the on-course events and staff volunteering and signage. I've got a few things here. So this is just recapping the level 1 PDF that we get for the work experience portfolio, and it's video or photo evidence for all 5 areas. I've just got some things to put in there as well in the work experience portfolio content. So nearest the pins and long drive, and making sure that we've got those ready the night before at least, and making sure we've got a note of those on the checklist a long way before. because you probably have to get hold of the superintendent regarding that one too. The golf carts, aesthetics, make sure they're cleaned before staging with the GPS set up, and a spare cart available for emergency transport in case anyone needs to get out on the golf course from the pro shop area, from the clubhouse. Signage is massive. That's one of the biggest things. If someone new is coming to your venue, that's one of the biggest things that they will notice straight away. We've all been there where we've turned up to a golf club and sort of no man's land and no one's around. It's a bit of a strange one. So for making these sort of day run smoothly, we can definitely get adequate signage out there. The front of house staff is huge too, so that they sort of go hand in hand. And you can document all of this by taking pictures and putting your signs there and your nearest to pin. I remember my previous club, we used to put a big rope down for straightest drive, but we'd have to give the superintendent a couple of days just to make sure to expect that, really. Making sure you've got your rules committee and volunteers briefing prior to the event start. I'll just leave that there for a second. So again, I've just put this on here just to reiterate, we can use sort of screenshots of Golf Genius for the work experience portfolio and be as specific as possible. For a few different events, we can just check the tournament setup for a junior event, for a men's event, knockout competitions. Just put a varied amount of evidence on there. So conditions and rules of play. How locations will depend on the type of event and how hard you want to trick up the golf course. Just making sure we've got payouts information, so results and what they expect when what the winners will take home. Notice to competitors, so that's your information on the day, your local rules. Are we playing it down depending on the weather? So everyone's got to be on the same page there. I remember at the Ho Classic, Max de Spain was very clear on the rules and whether we were playing it down. The weather conditions for the day were really bad on the first pre-qualifier, and the rain actually was taken really well by the golf course, so that we still played it down, even though it was pretty horrendous out there. But so scoreboards and live scoreboards, just making sure if you've got a live leaderboard and a live scoreboard that it's going to be running efficiently, and obviously your pairings for the day are clear, and if there are any changes, make sure competitors know prior to the event. And again, I've got some ideas for content which you can document in photo evidence, or there is a form to complete as well on the work experience portfolio. So yeah, the type of tournament setup is down to it being a qualifying event, or if it's a invitational, if it's a member guest, member. Qualifying event tees must be within 5 yards of the plates. Weather contingency plans, so notes to players, clacks and instruction if it is a bad day out there. More so over here in the UK, and we're used to that one, less so in SoCal. Evidence of conditions of play on tournament software, and chairpersons and rules committee identified. So if everyone has an email prior, I remember Max sent a couple of emails out. Everybody just had their role for the day neatly organized in an email. And your pace of play guidelines are a big one too. So making sure that players know what to expect and how long their round's going to take or should take. I'm zooming through this, guys. Does anybody have any questions so far?
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you ever find that scores seem to be lower when you post what kind of prizes are going to be awarded to first, second, and third? Do you find that people seem to cheat more when they know that there's possibly a bigger prize for first place? I find this to be an issue
Really?
sometimes.
Wow. No, I haven't really noticed that at all. In terms of, so if you have like is it more of like a pairs event or an individual? What are you talking about there?
Mainly more in like when we have outside tournaments and scrambles and stuff, when they know, hey, the winning team gets $1,000. All of a sudden we're getting, 56s, 58s, from guys that look like they can't hit a ball more than 150 yards. Whereas where you have without the tournaments, without a specific amount of money or a big prize, the scores seem to be a little higher.
Hey,
Really?
hey, Michael, when you do that, and if you have that on a recurring basis year over year, do you disqualify, a certain individual or a certain group from playing next year?
We haven't run into it where it was like so obvious, but it just seems like it's been suspicious sometimes it just seems like when they post like that there's going to be a big prize for first place. You look at the groups and, from marshaling, and you look at the groups that are playing, and you're like, there's no way those guys shot that.
Right.
But you can't, I'm not out there the whole time, so I can't prove it. But it's just something I've noticed.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. We used to do that. I was at Medina, and, we would have all these Monday morning outings, and yes, we would have year over year, XYZ foursome always came in first or second. And then we finally just said, you can't return. Sorry.
On the flip side, my group, we won a tournament 5 years in a row, but we were all college players. We're all scratch golfers, to the point where they put the tournament director in the group behind us to watch us 2 years because we got complaints that we kept winning. But so we actually weren't allowed to go back to this one tournament because people complained about us. But I mean, we weren't even winning by a lot. It was just we were all kind of the youngest guys out there that played like collegiately, and so people kept questioning us.
Where are you based, Michael?
I'm in SoCal, just outside of Pasadena.
Nice local. And is it a club you're working at where you have these sort of events, or is it a members event, or is it an invitational?
It seems it's always the outside tournaments. The member events, I feel like members hold each other accountable, and whenever there's any like discrepancy of like handicap, members are very quick to come in and complain and be like, hey, how come this guy has 3 scores posted in the last week, or how come this guy hasn't posted in 4 months but he's playing to this handicap? But it's the outside tournaments that I find that the scrambles, when they post the prize, the scores seem to be real low, and it's for fun, but it's still just something I noticed.
One thing I did notice being over there is a lot of AMs do actually put their scoring for handicap most rounds, which I thought was quite impressive. When I played with amateurs, they're always wanting to sort of keep their handicap up to date, and with the WHS system, that's the best way. It's almost like because it takes your top 8 out of 20. It's almost a form based handicap, which I think if you play a lot play a lot of golf, that's how it should be for sure. But yeah,
Right.
so
most definitely, but we still have a long way to go to keep everybody posting the right scores with the right whatever. So anyway,
yeah, so results to contestants and media. So we've gotten to the review and evaluate stage. Just recapping with clients and staff to see if everybody was happy on the day and in their station. We've got a bit on the P&L statement. So everyone's variances are going to be very individual to the club, and products that you may give away in one club, you may want to make a profit on in another club. So those P&L statements are very individual to your facility. The tournament participant feedback as well. is a massive one. Just seeing what people did and didn't like on the day, how things worked and didn't work, and hopefully you can gain the rebook. So here's the LACC wrap-up review document. I'll just leave that there for a few seconds. Cool.
Hey, Cameron.
Sure.
One thing that I've found in running tournaments is that second column you have there, you know, the notes for future.
Yeah.
But it's so important. We all have very, very busy jobs, and we kind of go from one event, one tournament to the next. And once it's done, you know, we refocus on tomorrow or, you know, the next day's event. But spending a few minutes documenting down what went well, what didn't go well, and any feedback you may have had from your members, or, you know, your client, if it's an outside event, will help tremendously as you come back next year and you look at those notes. We don't want to do that again. So I know it's tough to do, and I'm guilty as much as anybody of not doing it, but it's really important.
100%. It's one of the hardest things to do as well, because you're going to get honest opinions, but you know, that's a potential area to grow. And I think going to a member and asking them sort of what they didn't like is quite hard, but it's definitely going to help you. And yeah, see, I put on this stage. So yeah, on that tournament journey, I just feel like on the days where there's delays in an event or an invitational or tournament day, that's when members and guests have been a little bit disgruntled, if you like. From a player's perspective, you know, if we can try and make their sort of journey nice and smooth from arriving at a venue to departure, I think you've got a good chance of increasing their perception of value for the service we deliver. So yeah, seeking client feedback for potential areas to grow is definitely one that's going to help you in the future, and hopefully get the rebook as well. I'm conscious I've flown through that quite quickly, and how are we doing for time there? We've got time for questions and discussion.
Yeah, do we have any questions from, you know, the people on the call? You know, Derek, Mario, Michael, Lance, anybody, you know, have any thoughts on tournaments you've run, tournaments you've been part of, you know, on your process through your portfolio?
Just one of the, oh, no, go for it.
Mario, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm just trying to learn something about the tournaments. I'm not really related with the coordination, but I will wanted to participate on that. So I joined this call to see how much can I learn to participate more active in the coordination of tournaments.
So where do you work at the moment?
I play in Barbara Ward in Holtville, California.
Northern California. Okay.
North Cal. And do you guys use tournament software, or is it?
No, at this time everything is manual.
It's manual.
But I'm just taking notes about the golf genius that you just mentioned.
Sure. I think, you know, just getting used to the initial sort of communication. Can you sort of get any communication with your staff at your club regarding upcoming events? And formatting, a good one is formatting golf events. So when I used to work at a club before we had any tournament software, I used to do these format sheets, and just getting used to sort of having those printed and put onto scorecards, making sure you haven't missed anything. It's just a good practice to try and make sort of bulletproof formats for a tournament day. and it just gets you used to making sure you haven't missed sort of the tees, haven't missed the event format, stroke play, or sort of mixed foursomes, whatever they're playing on the day. It's a good practice to get used to.
Yeah, I'm taking some notes of what you are saying in the slides. So yeah, thank you.
Pleasure.
Something that really helped me, I don't know if other people do it or not, but getting on the email chain from our lady that does all the talks with all the people doing the tournaments, and then being CC'd on it, and so that I can see the correspondence back of what the people that are having the tournament want and preferences, and being able to be on that email chain and seeing what they're talking about, so that I don't have to hear it from Bertha as well, even though she'll go over it with me. That seemed to really help setting stuff up and being on the same page as what the client wants. So when they arrive, I have a better understanding of what they expect or what they want or what's not. You know, there might be some late emails, hey, this person's not showing up, or we want to add this person, or we want to add, you know, just being in the loop seemed to really help, and just being on that email chain. And she also gives out my number to the people. So if they have any, like during the tournament, they have my number so they can call me personally. That's just something that seemed to help me a lot with tournaments personally.
Sure, no, that's a massive one. Yeah, the email chain, and if we don't have access to that in the pro shop or our operations department, that is something to jump on and just ask your director of golf or head pro if you can just look at the email thread at least and get on the same page for sure.
Hey, has anybody experienced a forgetting to include the F&B in a tournament setup or a tournament preparing process? Because if you do, I mean, I've done it, and I forgot, and I thought I did, but you'll only do it once. You will not ever do that again. But keeping them in the loop was a real key point. As Michael said, communication, keeping everybody in loop on that is real key. So.
Yeah, 100%. Communication between departments is huge, as well as sort of communication between members and customers. 100%. And that's the admin team as well, if we have an admin team. I mean, I know the pros in country clubs and in the US are normally the admin team too, so.
Hey, Cameron, this stuff hits close to home. I worked in section tournaments for 7 years, and what you said is spot on. I will add that being prepared and being in the loop is crucial to having a successful and stress-free and smooth day on the day of.
Yeah, it really just helps you on the day and running up to the event. If the prep's done, you can have most of the time an enjoyable, smooth day. It's not always as smooth as we would like it to be. As we know, there are some speed bumps which appear out of nowhere, but yeah, definitely you've got a great chance of running the event if you get the prep done. For sure.
Okay, do we have any other questions from anybody? Tom Sohn, you?
Yeah, Tom, TP, thank you so much. First of all, Cameron, just huge kudos to you. 3 a.m. your time to be up and presenting. It's a huge commitment and dedication, and truly professional of you to do so. And I'm really impressed and an excellent presentation, and look forward to getting that visa to come to LA and join Brentwood staff as soon as possible and get to meet in person soon. So thank you, huge kudos to you. To Tom Parker, putting on this weekly LaunchPad, many weeks of preparation before and now taking on the role of actually executing the call. Thank you so much, TP, for your commitment and dedication to the LaunchPad. And all of you, Derek, Lance, Mario, Michael, Stephen Monday, all the work you do in the background, it's hugely appreciated. For you guys to take your time and to be on this call, it's great. I hope you're learning something and helping you with your portfolio level 1 and getting that done as soon as possible. All these LaunchPad calls are recorded. They're all available online, whether it's SCPGA website education or YouTube. They're all available, and we've done this for 3 years now, and there's different versions of each content. So if you have any trouble, please access the available resources for you, so you could get this done as soon as you can. Level 1 is the hardest level, obviously, out of the 3. Get level 1 done. Level 2, level 3 will be a breeze. As on behalf of the Education Committee of SCPGA, we're here for you, and we will help you and get across the line and become a member in the near future. I know it's a grind. All of you are busy, but we're here for you. And please do reach out for anything. Me personally, Tom Parker, John Kulo, Stephen Monday, we're here for you. So please do reach out if you need anything. Again, Cameron, super kudos to you, brother. All the way 3 a.m. in the morning in UK.
Pleasure.
Really thankful for you doing this for us. And hopefully we have 3 weeks left, right? TP, you have 3 weeks left? Or 4 weeks left?
No, yeah, we do. Cameron, did we cut you off and then, with a few slides left or not?
Sorry.
No, absolutely fine. Thanks for having me as well, guys. Thanks very much. And yeah, looking forward to catching up in person as well.
All right.
But this is just, I had a slide here just for the content to include in the portfolio. You've got the sheets there, the P&L sheets, the example on the level 1 PDF and the after action analysis, but just a few ideas to probe there, some evidence for you. So, and I think that is it. Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions?
As normal, Thompson is always ahead of everybody and doing this. But Cameron, again, thank you so much. Everyone else that's on the call, thank you so much. One thing I always try to end these calls with is resources that you have available to you to help you through the program, help you through all 3 levels of the program. We have a phenomenal mentorship program in Southern California. Thompson is started it and is in charge of it and has built it, and it is a phenomenal mentorship program. We have representatives in each of our 5 chapters: Desert, Inland Empire, Metro, North, and the San Diego chapter. So we have chapter representatives that, if indeed, you want some additional resource or additional help, or just, somebody to partner with to help you through it, to understand what you're going through, these chapter reps are going to be there to be able to do that for you. So it's an entire program of, of getting, our associates to PGA membership. And as Tom mentioned earlier, that when you graduate and you get elected to PGA membership, we're all going to be there, congratulating you, slapping you on the back. It's going to be a great day on that regard. But if you do need any help, please reach out to Thompson, reach out to Cameron if you want some additional information about, tournament operations or anything else on that. Or please reach out to me or Steve Monday as well. Please reach out. I am there to help, but we have a lot of resources available to us. So again, then I will say thank you to everybody that's been on the call. Very much thank you to Cameron. As Tom mentioned, it's pretty early in the morning. So, I love, Cameron, your dual perspective on being a player as well as a tournament coordinator. So I think that was very, very, very helpful for everyone on that. So I will just close and say, Cameron, go to bed, and thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Great to meet you.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thank you, guys.